Steve, is that you that's online?
Yeah, this is the only way I could zoom in.
Got it. I noticed that you were an attendee, so I promoted you.
Oh, hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
Meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So move. Second.
It's been made by Mike, seconded by Tim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Look at the RFPs for the assessor contract. Chad?
Yep. So in your packet, you notice that in my memo that I put, our 3-year contract with Survey Group has expired. So I did send out RFPs to get information on renewing the contract. Adam is here because he has out of the two proposals that we received, Adam has the cheapest proposal for the contract. So we are happy to recommend to go with Adam's Survey Group again. But one of the things we need to talk about in that is we're targeting in about 2025 that we need to do a reval. And we've had some conversations leading up to this, but Adam is here to kind of talk about it a little bit. And then our recommendation at this point in time, just kind of to lead into it, is to look at and consider the interim market update for the reevaluation process. And I think, Adam, I'll kick it off to you to kind of talk about that and why we're thinking about going that route.
Yes, so I don't, if you can't hear me, let me know. So the two types up there, interim market update and the exterior only, this is all talking about the type of inspections that and field work that would be taking place. So exterior only, as it implies, you'd visit each parcel, auditing improvements in the current records. Interim market update would not be any field work, so not any record checking. Just simply recalibrating the model to better reflect current market time. So when you're talking about assessments, there's two things going on with that. One of the assessors in charge of applying assessments equitably, and the other part is being accurate with the market. So another portion of that is if you don't feel there's inequities throughout your current assessment model, an interim market update would be more appropriate. Whereas if you felt like there was more inequities, the exterior and going around would be more appropriate. The last revaluation we had was in 2017, and that was a full interior where we went around to each parcel, but then in addition, attempted to gain entrance inside of each of those. And with that, we got into 89% of residential properties and 90% of commercial properties. Since that time, there has been some law changes regarding our requests for inspections that have made it more difficult to gain entrance. I haven't done a revaluation under the new laws, but when we're looking at building permits, my entrance rate has probably dropped to about 50%, rather than in the past 80 to 90% was common, like we got in the revaluation. So given that, that's kind of why we went this way with the exterior only interim market update. Again, we're talking about our level of confidence in the current records. I think personally, because of the full interior that we did in 2017 prior to law changes, our current maintenance process. So each year I'm still working on changes that happen in between revaluation, and because of that process is on par. I feel my recommendation would be the interim market update, which would be just doing the remarket calibration to get the assessed values to better reflect sale prices, but without going around to each property. And part of that too is because we just recently had this revaluation, looking at the cost difference, what we would catch going around, I don't think is beneficial to us. Look, based on the difference between the interim market update and the exterior only. So my recommendation would be an interim market update in 2025.
Mhm.
Any questions about that or?
So if there are no questions, my recommendation would be to consider hiring the survey group for the next 3-year contract, and then also targeting the interim market update for 2025. And that helps us with budgeting purposes too. So Judy has a good idea of what we need to budget for moving forward in 2025.
I do have to say, it's probably my first time with those larger differences up there. That surprised me as well. My only comment on that would be a lot of municipalities are out of compliance right now, like almost everyone in the state, and there's a lot of revaluations going on. That particular company has a lot of municipalities, and I'm assuming they're probably already booked for this time frame. So that's my inference. But I can tell you about 5 years ago, those were flipped. So it's kind of with the same names up there. So that was a little shocking to me. But we're a little bit different too. You know, they're larger. I do 4 municipalities, you know, more involved in personally rather than having staff, less overhead. I work from home, don't have an office, things of that nature. So that would be my only other comment.
Hey, can I get a motion?
So move. Second.
Motion been made by Mike, seconded by Bob. All those in favor?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
And I want to confirm that that was for the intermarket update revaluation, not the exterior only, correct?
Yes.
I want to be clear on that. Okay. And that recommendation obviously will go to council then as well.
Motion carried. Move on to the 2023 ambulance contract with Gold Cross. Chad?
I'll take that one as well. Page 12. So our annual contract with Gold Cross was in your packet. You can kind of see that unfortunately the subsidy per capita slightly has gone up from last year, but that is still lower than it was during the COVID season. You can, with our numbers, so last year we paid $82,026. This year, the subsidy would be $96,184, as you can see here. So it is a $14,000 increase from 2021 or 22. But that's just because of the cost of services, cost of gasoline, other things. Inflation is driving all that. So all the municipalities are paying that. Gold Cross has shown, if you can kind of see the history here, have shown that they've been trying to whittle that price down over the years. Obviously, COVID jumped it up and then they went back down, but obviously with inflation right now, they're back up. So I'm just looking for basically a recommendation to send this to council to sign the contract with Gold Cross again for the 2023 ambulance service.
And the 96,000, is that what it was? 96,184 was approved as part of the budget process. So it is fully funded in the 2023 budget.
I'd make a motion that we renew the contract with Gold Cross Ambulance.
Second.
Motion been made by Bob, seconded by Tim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Steve. Opposed? Motion carried. Move on to number 4, accounts payable, finance clerk, job description. Judy, Chad?
Can't get it to
Can't get it.
move. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so before you is a job description for an accounts payable finance clerk. The employee who currently sits in this position's title is currently the administrative assistant. The red lines on the job description, or the red on the job description, indicates new duties that this employee has taken on through the 10 years that she has been with the city. So a lot of new responsibilities for the position. Another thing that was added to the job description is a 2-year associate's degree in accounting. So to more accurately reflect what this position does, we are recommending that the change be made from the administrative assistant position to the accounts payable finance clerk, and then updating the job description again to reflect the many changes in responsibilities that this position has taken on through the last 10 years. Notably, this employee can back up payroll. So if our payroll person is out of the office, she can fully calculate payroll, send federal and state taxes in. So we're not worrying about those things being delinquent to federal and state agencies. They like to hit you with huge penalties when that happens. So cross-training and getting us to a point where if someone is absent from the office, we're able to continue to operate. So also this individual has been more than willing when approached to take on additional responsibilities. Very prompt. I believe at this point in her career that should be upon us to make this change in her position. It also is great for letting people know within the organization that we are going to recognize them when they do go and are willing to work above and beyond what their job description is, and then for promotion and retention. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Otherwise, I would ask that this position move from an administrative position to an accounts payable finance clerk with all the additional responsibilities that go along with that title. Anyone have any questions? As you can see, it is a big difference between what that position used to do and what that position is doing today.
So I'd have to assume, is there a pay raise involved in this change of?
This person would be put on the schedule. You are correct. So there would be a change in grade. Yes, between an administrative assistant and accounts payable finance clerk.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make that motion that we call the job finance clerk description of accounts payable. Is that what we're changing the title to? I'd make that motion.
I'll second
Motion been made by Bob, seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Move on to finance director's monthly reports. Judy?
All right, so we are in month 10, so October for financial purposes. We'll start with the expenditures. One of note is over anything, so we should be at about 83.33%. And always some are over, some under, but you can see cable here is at 130. And again, we're working through that project here within the council chambers. and I will take those funds actually out of designated funds. You'll see those in February. So you'll see all these changes that I've been talking about for months, actually at the February Finance Committee meeting. And I'll do all my final estimates at that time also. But otherwise, social services is over just a little bit, and that was money we took in, extra money we took in on the revenue side, so it really is a wash. So far, we're at equipment maintenance. It's one we always like to keep an eye on. We're at right at 83%. So far that's looking good for the end of the year. And then for budgeting purposes, in 2023, I also did 120 or 130,000. So I'm feeling safe at this time. We'll see how the rest of the last 2 months roll out. Any questions on any of those? So far, I anticipate that we will come under budget actually at the end of the year. That is my estimate at this time. Unless something drastic changed between now and January 1st, we should come in under budget on the expenditure side. If no questions, I'll move on to the revenue. Where's my returns? Yeah. Oh. I'm used to that return to the top.
It's right there.
You're passing it.
It's on the other side. Okay. Look around, Judy, right? I don't know why, Chad, but this,
Click hard. I think that
okay.
the mouse is getting old.
All right, so on the expense or on the revenue side, we also are looking good at this point. I would expect all of our tax equivalents to come in. We still have the housing authority that we need to book here. You can see our utility payment came in, so the lion's share of that. Actually, that didn't get booked yet. We did receive it. You saw it at the council meeting. It is in our revenue, but they are the lion's share of this line item right here. Our state shared revenues, we have received this dollar amount also in November, so I'll be booking that. Again, kind of ditto of the expenditure side, revenue side, I expect all of our revenue to come to fruition for 2022. But also would expect actually some overage on this side. Also, in particular, we sold that piece of property, and that line item, I expect us to be over by at least this $50,000 at this point. Any questions on any of those? Looking good at this time. And we'll move on to assigned and unassigned fund balance. Nothing has really changed in this area since the last month. There's the cable TV funds that I will use for the one that I said was over budget on the expenditure side. Everything else nothing else has really changed on this side. We still expect to come in about 3.1 million at the end of the year. Any questions on any of our assigned fund balance? And then wheel tax, and I apologize, that actual number on the wheel tax is wrong. When I looked at it, I questioned myself, and then today I questioned myself again because it's over. It's actually 103,000. I apologize. I will make that change and make sure it's made for the next meeting, but we're actually at 103,000, and I expect us to also collect in full up to the 127 and possibly closer to 130 by the end of the year. So that is also looking good for next year or for this year. And then our bond schedule. Here's all the things that we have purchased and taken care of with our last bonding. There are just a couple items that still need to be taken care of. Parks has some ADA projects that will be done next year. I took out all of what we budgeted for Lions, Lima, and Avon. So we have about $500,000 left in here. And then I'm going to do some things with this and close this out in February. What I'd like to do is pull out the library roof replacement out of here, put it in designated funds and close out this bonding. So I'm going to use this money up, but save this money for this library roof replacement dollars. So I'm going to do some things with that to close it out at the end of the year because it's from 2019. And we need to get that closed out. So you'll see some changes there, just so you know. We have spent all our state trust fund dollars. That is also necessary. If you get a state trust fund loan, that should be within the same year. Any questions on any of those? If not, we'll move to the projects. I did add, Chad, so you know, I added the bridge onto this list for next month, so I already did that. And there will be a number of changes once Robert gets me the final numbers for Lyons, Lima, and Avon. I will be doing some updates to this, and right now I have no wheel tax dollars in here or no TID dollars in here. So we'll be doing a lot of updates to this schedule as we move forward. Can't quite see it. Anyone have any questions on this? It hasn't changed since the last time. Like I said, I'll be adding that bridge just so that doesn't get lost in the shuffle here also for next month's. When I put this together too, you can see some of the revenues are missing yet because we want to make sure those come to fruition, or I'm real conservative on this revenue side. So I'm hoping that we see additional revenues and possibly some more grant dollars as we move through 2023. All right, and then what you've all been waiting for, tax. Update on our tax comparison. Okay, so tax bills, just so you know, are going out tomorrow. In case any of your neighbors are asking where are our tax bills, because I know a lot of the townships have seen their tax bills already. So ours will be dropped in the mail, both Outagamie and Wapaka County. So I would assume by the end of the week, early next week, City of New London will also have their tax bills in their mailbox. Let's just give you an idea what those bills are going to look like. I used an example of a $200,000 home. So from 2022 to 2023, so tax year is 2022 payable in 2023. The City of New London as a jurisdiction in the Outagamie County side went down $15.45. Every 200,000 in value. Wapaka side went up $10.71. The reason that happens is because sometimes the value within one county or the other grows at a greater rate. And that's what happened in Outagamie County last year. They saw a greater rate of growth. So theirs went down. But then to take a look at what is it, the entire bill going to look like. One of the things I wanted to point out to you is we do first what's called a gross tax rate, and then we do a net tax rate. And the net tax rate is a subtraction that the state gives for the state school credit. So if you look at our gross tax rate, it went down 186.07 on the Outagamie side and 110.29 on the Wapaka side. But the state reduced the amount of state school credits this year, so that reduced it a little bit. Our lottery credit went down from the state and our first dollar credit went down from the state. So if you look at your tax bill, the reduction is actually overall, Wapaka will have a reduction every 200,000 in value of 150.05, and the Outagamie County side 77 point, and those are backwards. The Outagamie side is going to be 150.05 and the Wapaka side will be 77.28. I apologize. I knew that the minute I came out of my mouth. So. Any questions on that? We'd like to see this within our office too, because it makes for a lot of happy taxpayers when they come in and it's reading goes down. So. And again, they will be in the mail tomorrow in case you get anyone asking. We do get a lot of people. We've had a number of people stop by to pay their taxes. So starting tomorrow, we can actually print them off because they'll be posted online too. If they can't wait to get their tax bill in the mail, they can go online and look them up. Any questions on that? I think that is it then for my financial reports. Then I have my director's report and I'll go right into that. So things I have done, not everything, but some of the things I have done in October or in November. We had our budget hearing and I completed the budget ordinance and the note obligation to the bank. I did get that information over to them. That's in the works. I redid and reviewed job description, received all the information from the state and the tax jurisdictions, calculated the tax roll, sent generated the tax, actually the county generates the tax bill. So that's where they're at right now. And then it says I'll expect them the first week of December. So as we know, that's tomorrow now. Filled and submitted the required TID information to the state before I do the tax levy. I have to give them the information for the TID levy because it affects the tax levy. So you have to give them that information first. So I did the TID information, then I did the tax levy. And I submitted that April, and Missy completed the special assessment. So I took a look at those. I just reviewed them. Those have to go to the county. Those actually have to go before the taxes go over. So that was done in early November. Participated in and held our lunch and learn at the city garage this year or that month. Just so you know, that was held. Attended the civic board meeting and I did that via Zoom. Actually reviewed their annual budget and approved their annual insurance policies. Johnson Black was in contact with me and we're talking about the 2022 budget or 2022 audit. So they're going to be here on Tuesday, March 28th. We prepare a lot of information between now and middle March in our office. So Jill, myself, and April put a lot of schedules together. So, because we do most of that actually via email back and forth. And they have like a zip file that we put things in. So they're on site only one day because a lot of it is done remote today. Saves us some money. So they're not here more than a day because we'd have to pay for motel rooms and food and all that other stuff. That all gets charged to whoever they audit. Let's see. We're just talk about how busy we get in our office as Christmas years with required year-end payroll and financial reporting and tax collections. So just a lot going on within our office. Busy time of year for us. Worked with Robert on moving forward on the hail damage claim. So he got all that stuff out to the vendor. So we're working on getting all of that taken care of. And then of course, April completed a lot of the busy work for the 10-year capital plan. I review that and then we'll be talking about that next in our next meeting. Any questions on any of that?
Thank you, Judy.
You're welcome.
For a motion to move into closed session for the following statutory exemptions, 19.85 subsection 1 subsection E. Deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Also inviting City Administrator Chad Worth, Finance Director Judy Radke. We're also gonna, can I do them both at once?
Yep.
Okay. And also move into closed session for the following statutory exemptions, 19.85 subsection 1 subsection C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Also inviting City Administrator Chad Worth, Finance Director Judy Radke.
Need a motion in a second.
Need a motion.
I'd make a motion, we move into closed session for the following red stuff.
Second.
Motion been made by Bob, seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, so for those on Zoom, we are going to shut down. We plan on coming back online for the Capital Projects Committee meeting. However, we don't know what time that's going to be. And Steve, we're going to basically shut down, so I don't know when to tell you to kind of log back in for the Capital Projects meeting, but that's on a different Zoom link. So